So we've had like a week to
ruminate.
To reflect on our viewing of Avengers Civil War. No, Captain America Civil War. No, Iron Man Civil War.
No, Captain America.
Bucky's Civil War.
The Winter Soldier Civil War.
Oh yeah, he's called the Winter Soldier. Is that his like name though?
Yeah,
that's like his
character name.
Just like Iron Man, and I'm the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I thought he didn't like being the Winter Soldier. That implied that he was like whatever. We'll get to that later.
That's what he did when he was on his Winter Soldier missions.
But I thought he was done being a Winter Soldier. Or at least he was trying to, and then the movie explained that he wasn't.
He wants to be an Avenger, I think.
Well, he was hanging out with the Avengers.
Yeah.
Everyone seemed cool.
Really only because he knows Captain America.
So that's like an automatic invite, though. You think Tony Stark hasn't brought some babes to the Avengers? Where do they hang out? It's a mansion? A tower?
It was a tower, then they moved to like a compound.
And now it's like they hang out at the UN? Or no, they're on that giant water fortress now, right?
No, that was the prison.
Oh.
Where they kept the Avengers.
Do you really need
when they got out of line?
Do you really need to keep Hawkeye in the same prison as the real, like, people with actual powers?
Well, it was working. He was in there.
No, they just wanted him to feel important.
Yeah.
Put him in regular jail. What? Well, you're a regular guy. It's not like we will let you keep your bow in prison.
Yeah, just make sure no weapons. That's pretty simple.
Maybe keep him handcuffed.
Simple solution.
Although I guess he could say the same for Ant-Man, right? Doesn't he get his powers from his suit?
What? Same as Iron Man.
Nah, but Iron Man's not in prison.
Well, because he chose to cooperate.
Alright, so that's the overall thing I didn't get. Like, I think this movie would have been more interesting if there wasn't the whole choosing sides part of it. Like, it felt like it should have just been about Iron Man, Captain America, and Captain America's crappy friend, Bucky.
Hey, he's got the metal arm. That's pretty cool.
Oh no, I shouldn't blame Bucky for everything.
I like that part when they're running, and like the guy on the motorcycle goes by, he grabs the motorcycle with his metal arm.
Because I felt like because they were trying to put in so many other heroes and stuff, they didn't really tell the story of why Captain America and Iron Man were fighting.
I think they got the point across. I mean,
but like at first they were like, "Oh, it's because of their political ideals or whatever, and they need to fall in line." But then it becomes, "Oh, Bucky is killing people still, and Iron Man's mad
not
about
still,
it."
but
or no,
when he was,
yeah,
he just so happened. Oh, yeah, he killed Iron Man's parents.
Yeah, so they turn Iron Man into Batman. So Captain America and Iron Man are fighting over one thing, like just a disagreement in their approach to superheroing, right? But then it's also, and he killed my parents, and you're protecting them. And then, like, it's not like Captain America's like, can we talk this out? Nah, he just teams up with Bucky and they beat up Iron Man. So it felt like, well, because like the two reasons they were arguing didn't really seem to mesh. So it just felt like they were arguing just about anything. Like they were just mad at each other about all sorts. Like they were just a married couple that had been cooped up together too long. And then Bucky's like the new woman.
Well, actually, the way I see it was like their oppositions of like where they separate Captain America and Iron Man. Like I feel like it's incidental to just how it ends up that the Winter Soldier killed his parents, and then so it's Iron Man against Captain America and his friend. I like it's just like one thing to add to it.
Yeah, but that made it feel very muddled. Like, then you kind of didn't know. Like,
it's one other thing. Like,
and you never do the laundry. my suit's made of iron. Why would I do laundry? Like, if we're just gonna throw things on top of it, and it just makes it even worse. Like, there should have just been one reason for them to be arguing, you know?
No, it's called depth. You need more story.
More story.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Marvel's all about. What do you mean we have 20 minutes of everyone fighting and no story? This movie will never see release.
There was a lot of fighting though, too. Like,
well,
I think it was a good balance of story and action.
I think they should have got rid of everyone, all the heroes except Bucky, Captain America, Iron Man, and Spider-Man. Everyone else could have stayed home. Even Black Widow could have stayed home. I normally like her character.
So you wanted just 2-on-2?
Yeah, that would have been way more
epic. Like a fighting game?
Like, it wouldn't have been great if that was Spider-Man was more of a trump card like that?
That would be more better, like, action sequences, like, because you just, instead of one-on-one and one-on-one like they were doing, like, yeah, it'd be, like, more Spider-Man and Iron Man teaming up in, like, cool ways. Like,
yeah, like, I want to see them connect
badass
more.
moves.
Especially because the scene when Iron Man goes to get Spider-Man was one of the funniest scenes in the movie.
Well, yeah, because he's making fun of him for being a teenager.
Like, it had a whole, I guess, like, mood change to the movie because everything was starting to kind of ramp up and get more and more tense.
Yeah.
And then
a lot of people dying.
Then Tony Stark just shows up to hassle Spider-Man.
Definitely brought some levity to the whole thing.
I think if he would have gotten a more prominent role, it would have added, because they didn't need Ant-Man to lighten things up if they had Spider-Man.
But they had him, and it works. Like, I like Paul Rudd.
But he didn't have much, like, a lot of the heroes didn't have much to do. All Black Widow did was be a traitor. That was like her one scene in the movie.
It was interesting.
No, it wasn't.
Because she was on one side and then,
then why would she even go to the fight at all?
She was confused.
And it's not like she was like, sometimes like, Captain America, just turn yourself in, I don't want to hurt you. No, she just stared at him and let him run away.
I think that was a good position to show, like because Captain America and Iron Man, they're like on two opposing sides. Sometimes you're in the gray area. Like,
yeah, but you think
sometimes
at that
you don't feel like a Democrat or Republican.
Like, there's this giant fight, and at the end, when Captain America is about to escape with Bucky, that's the first time Black Widow has him alone to talk to, and she doesn't try to talk to him. Like, that's my biggest complaint about the movie. I understand everyone's fighting, but no one tries to talk first. Like, it feels like everything could have been solved if they just said 2 more sentences in a couple scenes. Like, he killed my parents. He was being brainwashed. Oh, okay. Let's all calm down. Let's talk about this then. Or like, well, we need to respect the UN. Well, maybe we don't. We should discuss this more.
See, that's the thing about it being like a comic book movie too. Like, it has a comic book logic.
But like, for a movie like this, I don't think they should have tried to do the high political stuff. Like, oh, we got to work for the UN. No, we work for ourselves. And whatever political schemes going on.
Trying to bring the reality to it.
But let DC do that.
Yeah.
Like, I think, just as when I was learning to appreciate Marvel movies for being Marvel movies, and just being, like, fun, where you're not paying attention to the story, you're just seeing how funny it is to see different heroes interact with each other. And then explosions and cool fights.
It's all about action sequences rather than character development.
Well, I'm not saying development, I'm saying just interaction. Like, the characters don't have, like, seeing my favorite parts of this movie were when Iron Man and Captain America, even if the story was bad, them talking were some of the best parts of the movie. Like, I was surprised that in a movie I went to see, everyone went to see because we're going to see the big old fight at the airport hangar.
Yeah.
Right? And like, yeah, that's what I wanted to see most too, and it was great. I guess we'll talk about the scene more in depth at some point. But it felt like that was like hogging in on these, like, I wanted to see the Iron Man versus Captain America movie. and I didn't know it. Because, like, their scenes, like, interacting with each other, especially at the final scene where Iron Man makes one last stand against Captain America and Bucky.
Right.
Like, those were some of the, like, tensest scenes and, like, best, well-acted, tense, like, interesting, emotional.
Well, yeah, but I see what you're saying, but you can't do that, like, for an entire movie. That's, like, you wouldn't be able to keep it up that long.
Well, it would have been a much shorter movie if they took out all the parts. Like, they could have made 2 movies out of this, basically.
Yeah, probably.
Like, there would have been the cool Avengers Civil War, and then this could have just been Captain America 3 versus Iron Man. Because if you showed them, like, fighting now over, like, something more emotional, then you would see where they obviously wouldn't take sides on anything after that. So I could see, like, if this movie came out and then Civil War came out.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Do you think it worked as one whole movie?
That just means more story, too. Like, well, and more epic battles, or, like, if it was just Avengers versus Avengers movie, it'd be, like, way more complicated fights.
Well, okay.
I guess that's the thing I didn't like about the big fight, was it seemed very contained.
Yeah.
I think even you pointed out, like, how weren't they fighting about causing too much damage?
Oh yeah, that was, like, the entire thing that set up the whole UN stuff. Like, they're causing too much, like, collateral damage, and people are dying. Of course, they never seem to make the argument that people are gonna die even if the UN sends us. Like, we're taking on gigantic space weapons. There's gonna be collateral damage.
I think they just needed any excuse to try and wrangle the Avengers, like, do their bidding. Fucking US. Trying to always control shit.
But I like how in movies the UN is always so powerful when they have absolutely no power in real life. Yeah. It's like the most comic book thing ever. I guess just because comic books need,
it's
like...
the UN we need, Anthony.
Like, comic books just need that unified power that's supposed to control the entire Earth.
Yeah. The one governing power.
Well, we'll just call it the one that exists, but doesn't control anything.
Brilliant.
But, okay, so let's talk about the big scene now. And like you just reminded me, they were arguing over all the damage they were causing. So they all get together in an international hangar, or at least like an army, or some very expensive looking place with lots of very expensive looking
international
planes.
Airport.
And they trashed the place.
They caused some damage.
And all of them do it. Like, not just the people on one side that, like, didn't care how much damage they caused or something. Everyone's just burning the dump down.
Oh, well, collateral damage.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
See?
Even though, like, before it was... Actually, it was excusable because there was a bad guy. Then when you're just fighting with each other, that's
see what you're calling the UN is tearing us apart. So now the UN looks even worse because they have that's all the people that are supposed to work for the UN, and they just got, I bet, like a tabloid to be like, Avengers get drunk, trash.
Avengers causing a ruckus.
The UN's like, PR problems.
We didn't sign up for this.
You signed us up for this. All right.
Way to throw that back in my face.
Okay, I thought the fight scene was really cool, though.
Yeah.
Like, you got to see everyone use their powers in a unique way for a couple seconds.
Yeah, like I was saying, like, that's their thing of, like, kind of like how the Star Wars prequels, their whole thing was choreographing Jedi fights. Like, that's what the Marvels do really good, is choreographing fights.
Yeah, that fight scene was huge.
Yeah. They made good use of the open space, a lot of flying around.
Yeah, they let Spider-Man swing around a lot. They let Ant-Man get really big. Everyone who flies got to fly. I
got kind of worried, like, being at an airport and, like, Spider-Man there. Like, I'm used to seeing Spider-Man in New York, where there's lots of tall buildings. Like, that's how he swings with his web. Like, at an airport, tend to be, like, less obstructions.
Yeah, but they didn't show him swinging around too much.
Until Ant-Man got big, and then he was like...
He just used him as a giant building?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Spider was like, yeah, I'm more of a big city kind of hero.
Too much open space. He's like, what's the opposite of...
Spider-Man, this is Iron Man. I'm fighting the desert. Come help. No, thank you.
What's that? Isn't that called agoraphobic? You're afraid of open spaces. That's opposite claustrophobic, right?
So agoraphytophobic? Afraid of fighting in open spaces?
Yes. Perfect. Put it in the book. Agoraphytophobic.
There's only one place in the desert I'll fight. The Grand Canyon. The very bottom of it.
So overall, it's a good movie.
Yeah, I liked it. It was quality movie watching.
Very movie.
It was a little all over the place, like tone-wise, though. Like I told you, the Tony Stark Captain America scenes were really emotional, intense. But then Spider-Man and Ant-Man were making jokes.
Yeah. I thought the story was intricate without being convoluted.
It certainly wasn't convoluted. It felt like they were just trying to tell two stories in one movie. I think that's why I wanted to be split into two movies. Because there's like two things they wanted to talk about, but then they both kind of just got a little muddled by the end.
Yeah.
Like, because it started with all the political stuff.
Yeah.
But then it ended with like, well, they killed my parents though. I'm gonna join a monastery and be trained by ninjas. Oh wait, that's the wrong billionaire.
Yeah, I thought it was a good two-sided story, but yeah, I could see how they could like do two different movies from it.
And I wonder if some of that political stuff was like post-editing, like post-production panic about how political the Batman Superman movie was. Because that was kind of the same storyline, right? Like, they're causing too much damage, we gotta stop them. Superman, you have to go in front of the Senate.
I think it's just coincidental that they went the same way as like DC. Because, like I said, that's a point of reality. Like, trying to put it in a more realistic setting, like it's doing damage.
But they're not gonna stop doing damage, so why even bring it up? Like, that's why you want to see a big town gets destroyed at the end of every Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And how many have there been so far? Iron Man 1, 2, 3, Thor 1 and 2, Avengers 1 and 2, The Incredible Hulk,
Captain America 1
and then
and 2.
all three Captain Americas now. That's 11 cities that got destroyed.
Some of them were repeated, I think.
Well, yeah, they probably were built by now.
No, it caused damage at construction sites. Well, yeah, that happened in the Avengers one. Age of Ultron, when they're in that other country. Remember when Hulk's freaking out?
Yeah.
He's like, how fast can we buy this building?
Like, after Incredible Hulk destroyed our city, it took 8 years, but we finally have a new stadium for your football team. Oh crap, the Hulk's back!
No!
There goes another season. You like throw your base flat on the floor. Ah! Damn these superheroes. That's what they're mad about? Is superheroes ruining professional sports? Now that's something to be mad about.
You throw up infographics so like the Avengers looking sad and people.
Like,
is that it?
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Alright.
It's a good movie. No sports teams were hurt in the making of
Captain America Civil War.
Thanks for listening to the Bystanders Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/GameMusicForAll. You can find links and show notes from today's episode at thebystanderspodcast.com. Follow us on Instagram at The Bystanders Podcast and on Twitter at TBS Podcast. And you can support the show by subscribing to us at patreon.com/GenoBoots.